A growing deadly heroin addiction crisis is claiming many lives, especially on Long Island. CBS radio reporter Rebecca Granet at 1010 WINS News takes a closer look at the scourge that's permanently scarring so many families.
That was the Christmas right before we lost him.
Tormented by loss, but still full of love, Valerie Labiak wakes up every morning comforted by the subtle reminders of her son Michael. A framed quilt made from cutouts of his dress shirts hangs on the living room wall of her Long Island home. Pictures from his childhood are displayed in the dining room.
He was just a really funny, really bright, really handsome young man. If this could happen to him, this could happen to anybody.
In less than 10 months, heroin entered Michael's life, wouldn't let go, and killed him. Like so many heroin stories, Michael's struggle with addiction didn't begin with the drug. In 2012, he underwent surgery and was introduced to prescription pain medication. 2 years later, his parents learned that he was abusing the pills.
It was his last visit before he would have entered the police academy, but he failed the drug test. So that's kind of when he had to come and tell us that there was a problem.
Michael started outpatient treatment and detox. It was in treatment that he learned a heroin habit would be much cheaper to maintain than an OxyContin one. Now on heroin, Michael was living in the shadows of his former life. That is, until his father found a syringe outside the family home.
I reached out to people to try to figure out what we could do as parents. But it took me a couple of months, I think, before I even could say heroin.
After having a run-in with the law to support his habit and struggling through a new round of treatment programs, Michael overdosed. His father found him lying on the bathroom floor and used Narcan, an antidote to a heroin overdose, to save his son's life. But that was merely a prelude to the night and the text message that Valerie reviews in her mind to this day.
Friday night, we were home, we had dinner together. He left to go smoke. When he didn't come back after a couple of minutes, I looked outside and I didn't see him. So I texted him.
This is the last conversation Valerie would ever have with her son. At 7:45 p.m., he told his mom that he had taken a walk down the block. And just over 2 hours later, he sent Valerie the text that continues to haunt her.
He texted me at 5 to 10 and said, "I'll be home soon."
But this wasn't just a trip down the block. Instead of going back home, he used his time to head to Jamaica, Queens. After some time in Jamaica, he went back in the direction of home. Michael made his way to the LIRR. He took the 10:02 train out of Jamaica Station and overdosed. About a half hour later, Valerie says a young girl got on the train at the Wantagh station. She approached Michael thinking he was sleeping, but he wasn't. He had passed away in 34 minutes. By the time his mom checked in again via text at 11:08, he was already gone.
I just miss him. I miss his hugs, and he would always say, "I love you," before we hung up the phone or if he was leaving. Always. I miss that.
Today, Valerie shares her family's journey with those who will listen, and she has a message for parents whose children are battling addiction.
I say don't give up, because I would have fought forever for my son.
And through it all, she says she wouldn't give up the 26 years she had with Michael for anything. In Belmore, Rebecca Granet, TV 1055.
This is just one piece of a series of in-depth reports on the heroin epidemic in our area called Generation H. To see more videos and listen to more stories, go to WLNYTV.com.